guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing and discussing The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is a bind-up of the 5 prequel novellas to the Throne of Glass series. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I thought it was a fantastic addition to the series. Now, some of you might be wondering if it's necessary to read The Assassin's Blade before reading Throne of Glass. It's not. Some of the events that take place in The Assassin's Blade are alluded to in Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is a perfect, wonderful introduction to the series on its own. I feel like this cleared up some situations for me. There are things that Sarah J. Maas does not fully delve into within the series itself that happens in Celaena's past, and she does go through them in this bind-up. I wouldn't even call it a bind-up because these 5 stories flow together so beautifully. Each story is separated by a very short time span, so it reads almost like one continuous story. I really enjoyed that about this. So those are all of my non-spoilery thoughts. We are about to move into the spoilery goodness, so if you have not read this book, I would recommend leaving now. So let's go ahead and start with The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. Now, I think this might have been one of my favorites in the bind-up. I really enjoyed the story. We just got so much out of the story. I went into this novella expecting Sam and Celaena to either be the best of friends and buddy-buddy, or to be in a relationship already, and to my surprise, they're actually mortal enemies. Celaena has always been, the best, and she's the protege, and she's #1 because she's Celaena. And then there's Sam, who has always been the runner-up and kind of always had to take a backseat to Celaena and her drama-filled life. Obviously, Sam has a very big impact on Celaena, so I was shocked that they were so at odds with each other. As in true Celaena fashion, Celaena has just the snarkiest attitude, and she's so sassy, and she's so just like all the time. She's a little bit more whiny, self-absorbed, and arrogant in this installment because she's younger. That attitude and that sass is just pumped up one level higher. So we open this novella finding out that one of Celaena's biggest mentors, Ben, ironically, if he's such a huge mentor in her life, I have never heard about him, but we find out that he's dead. She's very upset and broken over it. She wants to murder people, and yet she wants to sit in her room and eat ice cream at the same time. So we're first introduced to Sam after Celaena's learned that her mentor Ben has been murdered. And Sam doesn't make the best of a first impression. He comes in all rude and just arrogant and full of himself and all assholery. Starts making fun of her, and I'm just thinking to myself, Sam, why you be pushing her buttons? You're gonna get your head chopped off. That's just rude, and you're asking for it. Ooh, this Sam character is kind of an asshole, and I don't really know if I'm gonna like him. You are not starting off on the best foot here, bud. So then Arobin sends Sam and Celaena out on this mission to meet this pirate lord, and I'm just thinking, this isn't gonna go well. They're gonna ruin this deal for him because they can't get along. Then we see that Celaena, when she's out on missions, wears a mask and a cloak, and she's very incognito. And that kind of surprised me because she's never incognito in the rest of the series. She's never trying so hard to hide her identity, which leads the pirate lord to be obsessed with seeing her without her mask on. I think it's a cool idea. It adds so much mystery and lore to her because no one really knows what she looks like. No one knows what her age is. She had to have been sweating her cojones off. They're in the southern area of the continent. It's hot as balls. She's wearing a full-on cloak and a mask on her face, and she's just chilling. She decides to disregard Arobin's plan. She decides to completely demolish it by setting free 200 slaves, and she loses all of that money for Arobin. Blows it all to shit. She just doesn't even care. She's very passionate about slavery. That comes into play quite a bit. Honestly, I don't think that Sam and Celaena came up with the best escape plan for those slaves, because that was a hot friggin' mess. Worse than a hot mess. And they mentioned, well, there's a tiny sliver of a chance this is actually going to work. But let's try it anyway. Why not? What if it would have failed? In this book, we really get to see Celaena kick butt a lot. In Throne of Glass, it's more of just said that she's this fabulous assassin, and it's a lot of tell rather than show to keep the mystery of her as a character going. And in this book, we really get to see what she can do, what she's capable of, how badass she truly is. And I liked that we got to see the assassin be an assassin. There's a lot of development in this novella between her and Sam, and it ends with them kind of like hugging it out. Selena can't do anything without a little bit of sass, and she says, if you tell anybody about this hug right now, I'll gut you. Novella 2, The Assassin and the Healer. Selena has been beaten severely by Arobin as a punishment for what happened in Skulls Bay. Dun dun dun. I'm starting to feel that he may not have ended things with Selena on the best of terms. She's gonna come for you. Arobin sends her off to the Red Desert to find the Silent Assassins and the Mute Master. And we also meet this character, Irene, who works in a crappy, rundown tavern on the way to Silent Assassins. She's a healer. When Adolin's magic was taken away by the Nasty King, her family was affected. I'm really intrigued to see if we're going to meet Irene later on in the series. Out of all of them, the assassin and the healer is kind of like the one misfit, could have been excluded. It's also one of the only times we read from a character that's not Selena. We read from Irene's perspective a little bit, so that intrigues me. And I know that Sarah J. Maas has mentioned that one of the characters from Assassin's Blade will be present in Queen of Shadows, and I'm wondering if it's going to be Irene. What I would really like to see again is Ansel, but we'll get to her in a minute. The mercenaries from the tavern are about to confront Irene, and we have friendly neighborhood, backyard, kickin' assassin Selena show up. Our not friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but our friendly neighborhood assassin come and save Irene. Selena trains Irene and teaches her how to defend herself. There's a whole lot more kick butt and kick-assery that ensues because of that. Selena ended up giving her that pouch of money. Irene was en route to the southern continent to go to like the special healer school when she ran out of money, and that we will hopefully see her later in the series as this awesome healer with these super cool magical abilities. That would be cool. Novella number 3, The Assassin and the Desert. So in this novella, Selena has finally arrived at the Silent Assassins, and she is there for 1 month to earn the respect of the Mute Master, who doesn't train people so willingly. I really liked the difference between the Silent Assassins and the Assassins in Rifthold. One is much more about brutality, the other one is more about quick movements and technique. I think her time there has like really helped shape her as an assassin, and what has helped like make her so notable, because she has that little extra thing about her that's different than all the other assassins. It did highlight some of Selena's weaknesses. You know, she's trying to run through the sand to this pond and back, and she's struggling. She's coming in last place. Showed that Selena isn't this all-powerful being. She isn't good at everything. Even the best fall down sometimes. Let's real quick talk about Ansel. From the beginning, I had a little bit of a wary feeling for her because she was wearing all of this weird armor in the desert, and I was thinking, that has to be really hot. That's not right. It was just so nonchalant and so like, let's be BFFs. She just was like suspicious from the beginning. I don't remember what city they went to or who they talked to, but it was the guy that was trying to invade the assassins. Ansel convinces Selena to steal the Styrian horses. Selena's like, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. But she does it anyway because she'd either get left behind and captured and possibly tortured and killed, or take the horse and escape. They're escaping, and Ansel leaps across this cliff with this horse, and it's this huge ravine. Selena's like, you've got to be kidding me. Selena's horse jumps as well, and thank God she made it. She's like, I can't believe you did that without consulting me. She just goes up and straight on punches Ansel in the face. Listen here, ma'am. We find out that Ansel is lying about her past, that her father did not send her. Her family was completely massacred. She's kind of on a revenge mission, and she causes this huge mess because she promises this other lord, or whatever he was, that if she infiltrates this fortress or whatever, he would lend her an army to stomp into her family's lands and take back her family's lands from this other guy. She is trying to murder the Mute Master. Selena still lets her escape. Ansel had felt that she made a true friend in Selena, wanted to keep her safe, tried to send her home early. So then I feel like in turn Selena felt obligated to give her a chance as well. That 1 extra minute to escape, and had she not, she would have shot her in the back. Definitely didn't think that Selena was actually going to shoot her. Novella number 4, The Assassin and the Underworld. Not too much action-wise happened in this one. It was kind of more, I felt, a setup for the final novella where like the big things happen. There was a lot of sweet moments between Selena and Sam. Selena does go to that play with Arobin and Lysandra. Sam gives her that sheet music for it, and I thought that was like such a perfect gift for her. Hashtag Samlena. And then this is the novella that I really start to kind of develop a fondness for Sam. I really liked Sam, and I was trying to not get too attached to him because I obviously know what happens to him. Samlena was just so cute. That was the biggest struggle of this novella, was trying to distance myself. In this novella, Selena does go on a mission to retrieve these documents from this man, Donovan, who she is told is trying to further slavery. He's trying to build a road from Melisande to Rifthold to help with the passage of like slavery. But in reality, we find out that he wanted to build safe houses along the route. And we know Selena has such sympathy for slavery that it just felt like a trap. Ironic that she was sent on now another mission by Arobin involving slavery. So he lied to Selena, saying that Donovan was an evil man so that she would sneak into his house, steal these documents, murder him, ruin this meeting, and turn over these documents. And then Arobin comes clean and says that Donovan was actually the good guy and that she stole these documents to hand over to Leifer, who was ultimately working with the king. Selena is helping further the slave trade, and it was just like a slap in the face to Selena, and it made me just distrust Arobin so much more than I already was. And I was so proud that Selena finally stood up to Arobin. She finally pays him off, frees herself, frees Sam, even though she still wants to work for Arobin, which why do you want to work for him? He's such a scoundrel. The last novella, number 5, The Assassin and the Empire. The novella that you are anticipating and reading with such agony because you know that Sam is going to die. And it's just complete and utter torture because you're reading it and it's so long and it's moving so slow. It's like a bad car accident. You can't look away. Sam does die. Oh, it was so sad. As I was reading Throne of Glass and reading Crown of Midnight, I had this idea, what if Sam's not actually dead? And I thought that maybe it was this whole big trick and Sam would reappear somewhere later in the series. But now I'm fairly certain that Sam is dead, in the ground, gone, no longer shall rise. It would be super cool though. How cool would it be if Irene came back from the southern continent with these magical healing abilities? What if there's a magical ability that allows you to raise the dead? Let's say Irene raises Sam, or someone like Irene raises Sam. I wonder if the possibility of necromancy is there. What if someone raises Sam and then he's evil? It becomes one of Selena's mortal enemies and she has to fight him later in the series. Oh my gosh, that would be so traumatizing. Oh my god, I just now thought of that while sitting here. That would be a phenomenal twist. They're trying to leave Rifthold. Arobin demands this outlandish sum for them to leave the guild, so they need to have one last contract to help tide them over. Sam comes back saying that he found this hire and he's describing it to Selena. No, don't take it, Sam. It's a trap. We know someone betrays her and Sam, and that's how he died. Oh, I wanted to just strangle them both for being stupid. Sam wants to go kill this Farron guy by himself without Selena's help. He's like, no, I'll be fine. I don't want you anywhere near the scene. Oh my god, if she was there, maybe he wouldn't have died. Sam never comes back after he goes out to kill Farron, and it takes Selena way too long to go looking for him. I understand that they agreed and they made a pact and Sam might be angry, but wouldn't you rather Sam be angry at you than Sam be dead? And she falls asleep waiting for him. She just takes a little snooze. Who does that, Selena? Reading this novella was very frustrating. I had a feeling it was Arobin from the beginning, but at the end we find out that it was actually Arobin because he didn't want to share Selena with Sam because he doesn't like to share his belongings. Oh my god, and he actually befriended Farron? What even was that? I hope at some point in this series she gets to like murder him. That was an even bigger betrayal than what she did to him by far. And those are all my thoughts. Tell me in the comments down below what you thought of this. It was frustrating to know the outcome and then have to read through it. Oh, that just was like painful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you very soon. Bye! Bind up of the 5 prequel novellas. Bind up of the 5 prequel I can speak sometimes. This is a bind up of the 5 prequel. Oh my god. Try saying prequel novellas. So those are all of my non-spoilery. Might have been one of my favorites.